It's been 27 days of non-stop chaotic football. Out of an entire globe of contenders, we are down to just 8 teams. We've already seen the kind of matches that define a tournament. Norway sending Brazil packing, Switzerland completely dismantling Colombia. Historically, cup stages like this carry a brutal mathematical tension. In about 1 in 4 matches, the expected outcome is thrown out the window. We all want to see Morocco, Norway, Belgium, or Switzerland complete the ultimate Cinderella run. But the reality of tournament football is that fairy tales rarely survive the final third. To figure out who actually makes it to the final 4, we have to look past the media hype and the underdog romances. We need to analyze the tactical firewalls built by the heavyweights standing in their way. France versus Morocco pits elite talent against a wall. Morocco has survived by forming an unyielding defensive front. They are highly organized, disciplined, and present the absolute hardest test France could ask for. France combats these deep blocks with an overwhelming density of sheer star power. They use wide threats like Ousmane Dembélé and Bradley Barcola to violently stretch the pitch, pulling those tight defensive lines apart. This tactical stretch is designed to isolate and unleash Kylian Mbappé. Morocco's win condition relies on stalling. If they can prevent an early goal, they can drag a frustrated French squad into deep waters and force a penalty shootout. But if France secures a single early goal, the dynamic flips. The space opens up, the wide players feast on the counter, and the match likely ends in a 4-1 blowout. Raw, overwhelming attacking pace will shatter even the most disciplined defensive structure, provided it finds a single early crack. Then we have England facing Norway. Norway has reached this stage as a Cinderella story, almost entirely carried by the dominance of Erling Haaland. England, however, presents a unique defensive solution. Their heavily criticized but elite core possesses something distinct: Premier League DNA. Players like Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, and Harry Kane play against Haaland on a weekly basis in club football. They watch him constantly. That deep familiarity is lethal to an underdog. It allows England's defenders to anticipate his runs and cut off his supply lines, effectively neutralizing the tournament's biggest singular weapon. When an underdog's superstar is this predictable to the opposing defense, the fairy tale ends. Expect England to grind out a gritty 2-1 victory. Spain presents a tactical paradox. They've struggled to look convincing in front of the net, yet they boast an underrated backline that hasn't conceded a single goal all tournament. Against Belgium, Spain will lean into what they do best. They use suffocating, endless cycles of possession to entirely choke out Belgium's forward momentum. This defensive attrition drags a scoreless game all the way to penalties, where Spain's nerve edges them through. This contrast is even sharper in Argentina versus Switzerland. Argentina has looked sluggish in the knockouts, while Switzerland has perfected a stubborn, effective mid-block. Argentina responds to these low-scoring stalemates with relentless team pressure. They use a high press to force the Swiss out of the midfield and pin them into the lowest possible defensive block. Forcing teams to sit that deep grants Lionel Messi the crucial time and space he needs. From there, he can execute elite crosses, find the microscopic gaps, and crack the defense for a 3-2 win. Against stubborn defensive blocks, elite possession and singular moments of genius are exactly what allow the Giants to survive the tightest of margins. When the dust finally settles on these quarterfinals, the underdog runs will be over. The fairy tales will fall to the ruthless application of tactical discipline, deep league familiarity, suffocating possession, and raw superstar talent. We all fall in love with the idea of a World Cup upset, but the reality of late-stage tournament football demands a pedigree that only a few nations possess. But the reward for that predictability, it sets up the most breathtaking heavyweight semifinal lineup in modern football history.